I never reported to a girl or woman. I'm the leader here because I know it from the inside.
There are still standards, but any one of us could choose wherever we want to be.
Anybody could say she's doing her career because of her beauty. You could be an amazing entrepreneur, but if you're a woman and you don't feel like you're a woman, you are still very unhappy. Success will come from the combination of tech and human values, because there is something still left, like empathy, intelligence, like vision, creativity.
Hello, my dear woman in tech. I'm Hanna, and you're watching podcast Talks with Hanna, a space where we meet role models, women who build their careers in tech, who build their companies and other entities. Let's learn from them on how to build business, on what AI impact is for the industry right now, and what leadership is for them. And I'm very happy to introduce our first guest, Luba Pashkovskaya. She's one of the boldest leaders in IT and tech I've ever met. Luba, thank you for joining our series where we talk to powerful women in tech. Really a pleasure to have you here. We all know you as a CEO of Verv. We know you as a mentor, as a founder of Female Club right now. But I would like to start this interview by asking, how would you describe the moment of your life you are right now?
Wow. Well, first of all, thanks for inviting me here. It's a pleasure to be here in Warsaw. I haven't been here for a while, and great to see so many things changed. What's the moment in my life I am now? I would say that this is a magical moment when I feel so much balance in myself, and I feel that all of the parts of mine are as a puzzle, aligned with what I want to feel inside and outside.
You don't live in Belarus for some years, as I know, but your mature company was always oriented for a global reach. I'm interested, how is it important, or is it important for you to be identified as Belarusian female founder in IT?
Yeah, great question. We've been just discussing it yesterday on the conference Beltech, and I was saying, and I could repeat once again, I'm super happy to be introduced as the Belarusian founder. I'm very proud of my Belarusian roots, the history of the country. My granny just turned 103 years old.
Amazing.
In Belarus, yes, and she has 6 children. One of them is my father.
Wow.
She went through the Second World War, and she could tell just endless stories about her life and everything. And I am truly proud of my gens and the history of our family, and I'm happy to be part of it. So I'm proud to be introduced as Belarusian, and I'm proudly mention it wherever I go. As for being the female founder, this is the other side of the question, which I also like, because there are not that many of us girls, especially in tech. And I think it gives you a lot of advantage. It's not your weakness.
Oh, what is the advantage of being female founder?
Well, I think this is the mix of energy of feminine and masculine that everybody has. But I think that girls and women can better balance it in themselves, and benefit from having it. At the same time, men more often just focus on the masculine part, ignoring the feminine energy they have inside of them.
That's very interesting topic you are starting, but I will keep it for some more moments to jump there. Because before, I would like to ask you, for those this part of the audience that's not aware of the story of the Verv, so that's your hugest project. What was it? Like, what was your role? What was the role of 2 others co-founders? Because as I remember, there was a group of people who made it.
Yes, that was me and my 2 amazing co-founders, Igor and Natalia. And we started that business in 2013, I believe. So it's been 12 years so far. Unbelievable. Yes, this is now a very mature business. So initially, my role was as the product person. I love thinking about the problems that could be solved for users and in which way. I love thinking about the designs, UI, UX, and stuff like that. And my partner Igor was the technical person, absolutely brilliant engineer who knows how to build fast, cheap, but at the same time, the things that last for at least a while. So he has a very good mindset for a startup. And Natalia, my second partner, is responsible for marketing. So she just knows everything about marketing, monetization, how to position the products in the right way. And as you see, three of us cover the major spheres that are necessary to be covered when you want to build a technology, especially in mobile apps. This is the experience that we had. And three of us just sat together and said, okay, let's do a mobile application. And this is how our first product appeared. This was the running application. Yeah, and there were just three of us who were driving the major value for the business because everything was covered. Yes, we did use some outsourcing for example, quality assurance or for designs, which we were not able to do. But the major things were covered by the founders. And this is how the story began. But later on time, the company grew, and with the growth of the business, there are new things that needs to be taken care of. And at a certain point, one of the things we wanted to do is to reach out to investors to understand if we should raise some capital to grow our business faster. And so we needed some materials like pitch, the deck, and we needed to have these hundreds of calls with investors and to go and meet them if they want to. And my partners just said, Luba, your English is so good, so this is good if you make it. You would be better than us in doing it. And so I started taking on these more responsibilities, more and more and more and more. And eventually, maybe in 2 years from the beginning of the business, they said, okay, you should be the CEO, Chief Executive Officer of the company. We will be the Chief Technical Officer and Chief Marketing Officer, and this is the best setup for the business. And then I have been the CEO of the company for a while, like maybe for 7 or 8 years, until I decided to step back and more focus on the investments that I do, on my women leadership club, and just mentor the team in Verv.
Igor and Natalia are still the part of the Verv?
Igor and Natalia and me are in the board of directors, so we are the owners of the business and it's fully on us. And of course, we very carefully select the management for the company and ensure that everything is working smoothly and in the direction where we would love to, but none of us in the operations anymore. And I was the last one who actually left the operations. It was first Igor, then Natalia, and I was the last one when I was sure that we have the good team in place and I'm able to do that.
Are you happy now in this position of stepping out from operational side of the business?
Yes, I am, but I'm still pretty much involved, so that is good. At the same time, I enjoy more flexibility and more free time that I could spend with my children, with the other things that I love doing in life. At the same time, it feels like there is part of me that still wants to pretty actively be involved in doing something great. And that is why I'm thinking about what's my next chapter and what it should be like.
That's interesting. Thank you for sharing, like really. But I also wanted to know, so before Verv, before starting your own enterprise and company, you've been involved in Biden media. So that's a pretty huge story as well. Could you please share what brought you to this company in 2009, as I remember?
2009, 2010, I believe, yes. So first of all, I think just from my childhood, I always wanted my career and occupation to be connected with the most recent technology. I don't know why, maybe because my parents were both engineers. I don't know. So I had this feeling deeply inside. And then I started my career very early. It was Belarus. We were hungry. Although I started in the university from the age of 18 or 19, I don't remember exactly, I started taking some very small positions in different tech companies. It could be like quality assurance, localization
so it was different
manager.
companies at
Yes,
this moment.
there were very different companies, and there were a few of them, and I had a great experience. So at that time, people usually finish the university. I already had like 5 years of experience in great tech companies.
Super.
And then Viaden Media appeared. It was 2010, I believe, and this was the first company to produce their own mobile apps in Belarus. And this was amazing because it felt like I want to get there badly, no matter how. So I applied for the position, and thanks to the fact that I already had this great experience and background, they accepted me, and I was the first employee. So my initial position was literally doing almost everything, taking care of localizations, design, quality assurance. But I very quickly climbed to the position of being the head of the department, which was the highest possible role because I reported to the co-founders of the company directly, which was good. And yeah, it was an amazing journey. And this specific experience helped me, first of all, to gain the needed experience, and then to believe in myself, and then to understand that it is possible to do my own business. And this is what I did when the company was sold.
This was actually what I found very interesting. It is so evident that in 3 or 2 years you made this career pivot in this company, and that's from some position for the head of department, and sounds like amazing. Like, was it important for you? You've said that it was nice, the area of your industry, like mobile enterprise, mobile apps, but like also working with pretty well-known founders. Yes, founder, and as I know, it's Viktor Prokopenya was it at this time. And if I'm not mistaken, Yury Gursky was a part of this company as well.
Yes, there were two co-founders. Yes. So first of all, it was not the pivot in my career. It was a brilliant example of what is possible if you get to the right startup in the right time. As the company was growing super fast, and we did amazing things just within 2 years, and then it was an amazing acquisition, and everybody was so happy. I just got in the right place in the right time, and I had the needed skill set to make it possible. So it wasn't the pivot. I just grew with the company and with the business very naturally. And you are mentioning the co-founders. To me, it was always super important who I work with and who I report to, because if I feel that I can't take anything from the people, I can't learn with them, then I always quitted the positions that I had. Always.
You lose this interest, yes?
Yes. If I have this feeling that I stop growing, then it's time to leave. And then this was the good question. So the business was sold, the founders left, and I had this new management team whom I had to report. And this was completely different experience. They came from the world of casino. They were very good business people, very good entrepreneurs, but they didn't have this background in mobile, in creating products in wellness and fitness industry. So I pretty quickly realized that there is nothing new I could learn from them, at least in the domain I wanted to still develop my skills. And then there was the choice. We were still in Belarus, and I was looking around and realizing, okay, there are not that many companies that would be doing their own products for mobile. At that time, it was just Viaden and I believe Apollon and maybe BP Mobile, but it just started. And they were all pretty new, so Viaden was the strongest among them. So number one option was just to go into the company that would be probably weaker and not that experienced. And number two was going to another country, relocating. And I was thinking about it if I'm ready to, but by that age I wasn't ready. And also my husband, having the business in Belarus, said it's not okay for me to move anywhere right now. So we made the decision to stay in the country. So the only possible option I have seen was just start my own thing and do what I want. And this is how Verv appeared.
Wow. May I specify, like, what made you, at this particular point, what made you feel that you're ready to make this movement from being an employee, even in startup where everything is so quick and you need to have a huge ownership on what you're doing, but still this is someone's business, right? But how made you this step that yes, you're ready to go for your own enterprise? You've mentioned that you wanted to be in this industry, but what other
I think the answer here is super simple. Me and my co-founders were super sure that we are able to cover all of the necessary things. We already knew that we know the things we need to do in order to make the product, to market it, to position it, and to make it successful. The market was so new back then, so that it was very easy to introduce new products. And it was easy. The mathematics was fantastic. So that is why we were sure for us it's quite a low risk. And I want to mention here that if I was on my own, I wouldn't do that just being on my own, because I realized that my skills are in management and in product development. It's not that much about tech, although I managed a lot of developers, but at that time I was not ready to take the responsibility and say, okay, I will have the chief technical officer who would be just the employee. No, it wasn't enough for me. It was important for me to have the co-founder tech person, so that I'm sure that he's as much motivated as me, and we share this responsibility. And the same with marketing. I realized that it is not something I could do on my own, and that is why I wanted to have this co-founder. So this was a very easy decision, because we were pretty sure, three of us, in our skills. I wouldn't do that on my own back then. Now, when I'm more experienced, I could easily imagine me doing things on my own, alone, or having partners. Now I'm more flexible, but
feeling
back
more
then,
experienced?
Yes. I wanted to have more. I wanted to be more sure that we could succeed. But this was easy. This wasn't hard, and this was crazy, because the months I quitted the company via then, I think a few months passed, and then we made this legal entity. So we each of us had some very small amount of money, like bonuses that we had from the previous company. And we made this legal entity. And the same months I got to know that I'm pregnant with my first child. And it was like,
Wow.
Oh, wow, there is no way to quit in none of those options. And each of them sounds like crazy. So this was quite intense, and it was quite tough, but I'm so happy that it happened then. And now I have two amazing daughters. I have a mature business, and I'm so happy.
Stay around and don't forget to comment, to like, to share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you. I would like to know more about your leadership style and how it's evolved. Because you was sharing already that you was the CEO of Verv, and a lot of responsibility was on your shoulders. And for sure, starting of three of you, it's one story, right? It's more like a collaboration, a team. You rely on people. But when the company grows up to, 10, 20, and up to 100 more, yeah, that's what you was, or you are, as a Verv. So how did you change? Your leadership style changed?
Well, first of all, as I already mentioned, I always try to pick thoroughly the people who I work with. And I always had amazing, great managers as the people whom I reported to when I was working for somebody. And by the way, I was analyzing, I never reported to a girl or woman.
Wow,
never.
That's interesting.
That is pretty interesting. And I was always super comfortable in working with male leaders. And I think this one of the things that explains it is the fact that I have a lot of masculine energy in myself. I'm super comfortable making tough decisions, making action, making like things that girls sometimes don't want to make. And that is why I was comfortable in working with them. So returning to the leadership style, it was very natural to copy some of the strategies that they were using because I appreciated the experience. I love the way they like talk to people, make decisions, their leadership style. And I think there were a lot of things I took from them. But then when I had my own business and the company started to grow and to grow and to grow, more and more people, and my role transformed into the CEO, I think I tried just to lead by intuition, just growing with the company. And the most important thing that helped me to grow my leadership, not the style, but the leadership skills, is the growth of self-confidence, I think. Because there are a few types of leadership. For example, like number one is when you are very
Authoritarian.
Yes. So it's only your opinion and you want others to do directly what you say them to do. And usually people who do like that, like it could be lack of self-confidence. It could be fear inside of you, so that you want to prove to yourself and to everybody else that I'm strong enough, I'm powerful enough, I'm the boss here. The next level, I believe, is democratic, when you start paying attention to the other people in the company. Like you start having better people, stronger people, the business is growing, you have better people, and you start listening to them. You start realizing that there could be good ideas, and it's not necessarily that they only do what you say them they should do. The next level, I believe, is transformational, when you try to lead by example and lead by motivating through inspiration. So, and this comes in the game when you are very flexible and self-confident. You don't need to rush anymore. You don't need to put a lot of power anymore, because you know you own the power. Your voice could become more quiet. You don't need to shout anymore. And the last one is servants. When we serve people, when we just take care of the team, we give them the freedom, and we just make everything so that they realize their potential. And this is it. So I believe that with the growth of my self-confidence, I went from this number 1 to somewhere between number 3 and 4. When I take care of my team, when I don't need to prove anyone that I'm the leader here, because I know it from the inside, and I feel super comfortable in this role. And at the same time, there is one thing. Okay, there could be times like crises, like some turbulence, when you want to switch the leadership style. When something super bad is happening, when you need, for example, to fire half of the team, usually it's not the manager who should do it, but this is the time for you as the leader to come, show up, and do this. So I love just mixing all of that, but I usually prefer staying on the top now.
On the top, you mean serving and transforming?
Servants, yes, and transformation, trying to motivate people and inspire them.
And lead
by example. Yes.
That's interesting. What I wanted to ask you as well, like how so many times you were saying about self-confidence, and that self-confidence is something that is like the main thing to become a leader. Yeah. Or there is this correlation between what is your recipe right now, how to grow this self-confidence?
This is such a good question, and I think about it almost every day, because I'm constantly asked something like this. And I could share my journey, and I'm not sure that this is a good example, because in my experience, I was super slow in realizing...
In growing self-confidence?
Yes, I was super slow. I don't look like that, I know. But believe me, there was the very huge journey. So on the one side, okay, I've been doing professional sports as a child. I think this is very important so that you become more stubborn and you are used to like fighting for things. You are used to not giving up. Yes, this was me all the time. But at the same time, when you're a girl and you work in tech, there are so many fears. Like everybody is trying to say that, well, this is not that good. Well, your salary could be less and stories like that. So
Have you had this kind of stories behind you?
of course,
Yeah.
all the time. Yeah, there was a lot of that during all of my
Rumors
career.
on you being a CEO of Verv, any about you being a woman and
Well, I don't know. I preferred not to pay that much attention into it, so nothing specific I could mention here. But returning to the question, so I founded my own company. Then I became the CEO, although my partners were brilliant people and they were super experienced and they had great positions in other companies and like one of them were older than me. And this was not like usual for me. I was not coming and saying, I want to be the CEO because I feel like it's my role. No, I was not. I was just waiting and waiting until they said, okay, you should do that.
Oh, wow,
because
that's
it's good.
interesting.
It was not me who was taking this role. And then when I started doing more and more things and my experience grew, I was just like, okay, I'm still a shy girl who is lucky enough to have something in her life. And then one day, a lot of things changed when Forbes mentioned me in their list of the most like influential
Females, 50 of 50.
Founders, something like that. And I just woke up famous just overnight. Like everybody was calling me, everybody was writing like, let's do an interview, please come to the TV channel. And I was like, wow. And slowly, I started realizing that there is something that I do that is good, but it was a very slow process. And the more time passed, the more success came, the more confident I felt. But I don't want other people to follow this way. I don't think that this was the good thing. I think I was super slow in realizing things.
You also was saying about that you've never reported to a woman.
Yes.
But no, that makes sense. That's something,
Accidentally.
yeah. But I wonder, like, when you was building your team, probably there were managers, women. And in general, like, what was the hiring process towards the women in your team? Like, what there now you're evidently a role model that's empower women to grow their careers. What was in the times of your CEO
Yeah.
position, like, was it important for you to inspire women to have to take tech positions or to join your team or to join your company?
Good question. To be honest, I never thought about gender. I just was thinking, looking at the person and trying to understand if this is the right person for the company to do the work and to be responsible for it, and if we are comfortable in working together. It was never about the gender, never, ever. And the interesting thing is that when we grew to something like 60 people, 100 people, and we had this HR department, which was doing all of the analytics, like whom we have, etc. One day she came to me and said, Luba, we have more female managers than male managers. And this is super unusual for tech company. And I was like,
here.
wow, this is good to know. This is really very rare. And the reason behind that was that you're right. Girls were coming for like some example. They wanted to see the role model. Me and my partner, Natalia, she is also a wonderful girl, a mother to a child, having a family, like an amazing role model. And that is why girls were like, when they've heard about Verv, they were like, okay, there are girls and I could learn something from them. And very naturally, it happened that we had a lot of managers, girls. And you know what? Unfortunately, when I did this, when I stepped out of the operations, 1 year passed, and we started noticing this shift that more girls are leaving and the more men are. It's still like almost 50-50, but it's not that great as it was while me and Natalia were there. So it's 100% evident that they come for the example.
Wow.
But I never paid attention to gender in the business, never. What I try to do when I think like I have two daughters, they're now 10 and 12. I'm thinking about what world they will live in. And of course, this is so important to me to at least try making some change so that this world have equal opportunities for boys and girls. And that is why I was taking a part in this mentorship program when I became the mentor
women.
for girl. Yeah, that is why I do my leadership club. That is why, like now in our company, we have some specific things how to attract more female and how not to have the bias. Like there are so many things when girls are being judged as professionals, and it's not only about men, it's also about women. You know, if we will take a look at a professional, a girl, we could have both of us could have some bias about her level of efficiency compared to male. And those things are so weird, but when you are aware of them, at least when you're just aware, you can make better decisions. So now those are the things we are trying to do in the company so that everybody is more aware and the environment is friendly for everybody.
Especially, I think it is like this bias comes, and let me point this question in such way. If you don't want, please don't reply for this question.
Okay.
But like I'm interested in how do you see it? For sure, you are a beautiful woman, like without any stories. But do you think this conventional beauty, that's something that has an impact on female founders' route, journey? Like how you felt this, how you're feeling this?
Well, first of all, when I was a lot younger and when I just started my career, I realized that I felt uncomfortable being the girl in this world. That is why I tried to hide like everything. I was super shy in like I had the simplest clothes possible because I didn't want anybody to talk about me being beautiful, and that is why making my career path. So that is why I just tried to look as simple as possible, like the last person in the company. And then I worked so much, I didn't pay attention to the way I look. It was like I had no time. I was raising kids, I was doing my business. And only later, I started thinking, okay, I feel like there is some conflict between my female and male sides. And I started putting more attention into how do I look today? What do I dress up today? So this is something from the very recent times. But for the most part of my career, I tried just to hide the beauty and these girl features I have because it didn't feel comfortable. If I have more confidence back then, I would never do that. And that is why now I'm super happy having my Instagram. I'm super happy showing to others that it is possible to be whoever you want to be. You could be beautiful, you could be the leader, you could be female. Sometimes you could be angry, and it's still just you, and you could be happy with that. You could do whatever you want.
Yeah, it feels like we are living right now in this moment where there are still standards, but any one of us could choose wherever we want to be, like literally. If you want to be this and that, just do it. Like really.
Yes.
Just it starts from me what I want. And then anything could be accepted. So it's like, but I see
almost unfortunately, but I think this is up to us to build this new world we live in.
A few months ago, you started your female club. I wonder what was the moment, what was, I don't know, inspiration or situation where you understood you want to do this, you want to create it?
So I call it not a club, I call it a community for girls who are building their career or who want to start their own startup or who are already building their business. And I want it to be a safe place where we could get some advice, where we could ask questions, where we could receive support without any judgment. And I do believe that girls and boys, they go through different things in their careers, especially in tech. And I think that having the opportunity to discuss the problems that trigger you in this community of girls is something completely different rather than doing it in the mixed community. And while being in Cyprus, going to different kinds of events like conferences, etc., I was actually asked by a lot of girls, like, why don't we do something for girls? This was one story. And the second one, once I have a friend of mine who said there is a very limited group of founders in Cyprus, and we have the Telegram chat, and you are not there. Why? You are such a great founder. So we need you there. Would you like to join? I said yes. And he disappeared for a week or so, and then I was asking what's happening with the chat, and he said, there are 60 people there, and they are all men. And we were discussing for a week if this is okay for us to add a girl, because, we were discussing different things there. And I was like, oh, wow, okay, I don't want to be there anymore. I said, but they finally added me, and I believe this was a year and a half ago, and I'm still the only girl there. We have another.
So?
Yes, we have another.
Sorry.
We have another founders community, which is very big. It's like 400 people or 500. I don't remember. There are many amazing girls there, but this very first one, Cyprus community of founders, which is very limited and small.
Wow.
Yes. So thinking about that, I was like, okay, I want to do something for girls. I don't want others to feel so weird. And this is how the idea appeared. And in December 2024, so it's almost a year ago, I decided to make a group. I did it through the application in Locals. This is the app to manage communities. And girls started gathering there. And I believe there are now like a few hundreds of people. And then I made a Telegram group as well. And what I do, we post some materials there on the topics that are interesting to the community. And we do offline events too. We meet in the cozy format of, for example, breakfast. We select the topic we want to discuss, and then we come, sit, and then the conversation never ends because, when there are 20 girls, it's hard to stop talking. And usually it lasts like for 2 or 3 hours and nobody wants to leave.
I do understand you because I'm sharing the same experience here. We're doing the community. And yesterday, again, in this event, I had a very weird question from one woman. She came to me and she asked, isn't it like stupid? Literally, she was saying like this stupid to make these close-off girls clubs or events. And I was so sorry for her, honestly. Sorry to mention her story here right now, but I would like to say that I'm really sorry for those ladies who needs to go through the many issues by their own. Because I think in exchanging, in sharing some knowledge, even sharing some resources, like as well, like, I don't know, here is what you can do, here where you can apply, here is a position. We are empowering each other. So like, why not to have this experience? Yes. And the second thing that's always surprised me, that's people, for instance, are not those boys club, as you've been saying just now, that's for sure. Sorry, for me, it's like I'm still there processing this. Are we living in 2025 still?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that I'm against boys clubs, for sure. No, it should be you.
They should have it.
Yes, we all should have what we want to have. Yes, but sometimes it's what interested me that people are not questioning the evidence of boys club. But when we see there is a girls' club, let's call it so this way. So now it is questionable.
No, I've never had any questions. Usually when boys learn about the girls' community that I have, they say, could I join? And from time to time, I still have these requests from boys, all those everywhere. It's written, only girls, only women.
Yeah. And I saw this disclaimer on your Instagram. Sorry, yes, no boys for you.
There is always somebody. No, I've never heard anything bad.
But this was the first time I heard in 3 years of operating community, Women in Tech. And it was like, for me, it was, wow.
Ridiculous.
Wow.
I do believe when girls gather together, there is very special kind of energy that is in place, and it could not be gathered anywhere else. That is why it's something bigger than just a group of girls talking about girly
Is it
things.
like feminine energy that you are talking right now? That's because like when I'm reading about your community on your Instagram, I see that you're using this feminine energy. Also today you was mentioning this.
Yeah.
In general, like I'm interested, what do you mean by this? Because I think like we are living also, especially let's say for a tech industry, to use this kind of vocabulary could be a little bit provocative. Or
You think so?
I think so.
Okay.
It's one.
Okay.
But I wonder, like, what do you mean by this feminine energy, and what? Like, is it advantage, disadvantage to have it while working in male-dominated area? Like, how do you see this? Like,
I think it's not about gender, as I mentioned before. It's about the fact that every human has masculine and feminine energy inside of them. And it's all about the balance. So when we talk about feminine energy, we are usually thinking about intuition, creativity, emotional intelligence, empathy. When we hear about masculine energy, this is always about action, ambition, competition, ability to take risk. So I truly believe every human has their own mix of these features, and it's up to us how we show up in the world. My personal story is that maybe because I've been the professional sportsman in the past, maybe because of my character, I always feel super comfortable in this masculine energy, and there's a lot of it in me, at least at some extent. And when I was doing my career, when I was doing my business, when I was developing the company and growing it, I've been into this masculine energy all the time. And then at certain point of time, I just realized I don't feel comfortable as the woman. I mentioned I never dress up. I never pay attention the way I look like. I tried to hide my beauty. I never tried to show it so that anybody could say she's doing her career because of her beauty. She's having a man who pays the bills and who pays the company or give the investment. I didn't want that. That is why I tried to hide myself. And then one day I realized I'm super unhappy as the girl, because the girl inside of me is just suppressed under this pressure of dominance and how I need to show myself into the world. And then I did a very interesting thing happened to me. So being in Cyprus, I've been invited to a birthday party of a friend of mine. He's a known tech entrepreneur. And the format was +1. And this is Cyprus. This is like a small community where everybody knows everyone. And it was the time when we just moved to Cyprus. So I was like a bit new to the island. It was 4 years ago. And I come to the birthday. I come with my now ex-husband. So we come together and there is the discussion, like the party is going smoothly. And then happens the moment when people divided into two groups. Men go one side and their wives go the other side. Like, sometimes it happens. The boys go to discuss the business, like the competition, what's your next big thing, stuff like that. And then the girls, those are mostly their wives. No. They were like they were the wives, amazingly dressed.
Where did you find your place there?
So listen, they are amazingly dressed. They are so beautiful. They know how to present themselves. And I stand in the middle. I remember this moment. I stand in the middle. I realize I know every man in this place. It was not a room. It was near the swimming pool. So beautiful. And I know almost nobody from their wives. And I realize I need to make a choice. And something in me makes the choice, and I go to the girls. So I learn who they are. First, I'm super uncomfortable. They are talking about children, vacation, they talk about medicine, they talk about health, they talk about self-development, the books they read. And I'm like, oh my God, we don't talk for business for 5 minutes already. What am I doing here? I need to run. I need to do something. So this masculine energy in me is just, and it's super uncomfortable. But something made me stay. So I made a few amazing friends there from the girls. We started meeting each other. We started gathering for breakfasts, for a book club. We read like literature club. We read some books and then discuss them. And those are amazing role models to me currently, because what I realized is that like you could be an amazing entrepreneur, but if you're a woman and you don't feel like you're a woman, you are still very unhappy. This is what happened to me. This was my experience. So I started spending time in their community, and I started realizing that this feminine energy is finally flowing through me, and I feel a lot more balanced and comfortable. And I am so thankful to these girls, so that they opened their world to me, and I realized what were the parts that they were missing. And now returning to this woman community that I opened, one of the reasons I did that is because I appreciate so much what I took from the community of these girls. Because if they wasn't there, I believe I would still be this very unhappy girl trying to hide under this male interface.
But in your journey, who were the most to support you? Maybe like mentors, or I don't know, like maybe like role models. Were there women, men?
I think I was the one who was relying on myself. I can't say, I think your biggest base, your strongest base should be inside of you, not outside. At the same time, I was super happy to have amazing managers whom I reported to when I was reporting to somebody. Thanks God, it was a while ago. Then there is this great community of entrepreneurs. Being from Belarus, and we talked about it yesterday on the conference, like Mikita Mikada and his panda dog, like Yevgen and Masquerade and other great things that they're doing. Flo and Dmitry and Yury Gursky. So those are amazing people, and that really influenced and shaped my vision and what I want to do in this world, so that it made me dreaming big and believing in myself. This is one thing. The second one is, yes, when I became the part of the mentor program for girls and they gave me a mentee, I spent a few months with her and I was like, why don't I have a mentor all by myself? I need it now. And I was thinking who I want to have as a mentor. And I realized Dmitry Gursky, the CEO of Flow, is the best person. And he said yes. So he's been my mentor for a while. And as their business was a few steps ahead of us, this was super useful to me. He told me a lot of things on building teams, the processes, the investment. This was very good, and I appreciate that help.
So he agreed to be your mentor because you've already had some connections by this time, right?
Yes, I just knew him, and you know what? A very important thing that I understood, which I didn't realize before, just after I took part in this mentorship program by myself, being a mentor, I realized that this idea that if you give me, I should return to you directly back, it's not the way it works. Because you give to somebody and then somebody gives to someone else. And this is the way this world is developing.
Yeah.
And that helped me, this shifting of this mindset helped me to come and just ask, understanding that it's okay that I'm not able to give back to him something because, wow, he's big enough, he's famous enough, he's successful enough. I can just learn from him. And it's okay, because if he teaches me, then I will teach somebody else. And so this world becomes better. So I came and said, okay, Dima, I knew him for a while. We were not close. I mean, we maybe met a few times on some tech events. But I came and said, okay, could you please help me? And he was so kind to say yes. And then, yes, and now I'm mentoring girls. I don't take boys.
Why?
Sometimes they complain. But I think that as I have my own experience and the story I could share, it could be a lot more beneficial for a girl that could understand me better, and I could understand her better and understand the experience and the journey she's going through.
Issues, challenges, I guess.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah,
similar.
yeah, exactly. So I prefer having girls as the mentees whom I help, but I of course try to give back. And then, so number one is this entrepreneur network. Number two is the managers who I worked with. Number three is the mentor. And the last one is those amazing people, girls as well, who I meet in life. And I realize that there is so much I can learn from them. And it's not necessarily should be a business star, an entrepreneur. It could be a mom of four who is comfortable just taking care of the family, understanding that now she's missing some opportunities in the business, but this is her priority, this is her choice, this is what she follows from heart. This is not because she's unhappy, but just doing things because somebody is telling her to.
I like your positive approach towards any of stories here. And the next question I have for you is also about like this positive approach. Like, for sure, you are the person who is into the tech for 15 years already, yes? More or less. We are not counting just, and for sure it's more than any of us here in the room or even in the audience maybe. And I think like from this you already gain you have this visionary on what is happening with the industry, what is happening with around industry. And for sure it seems to be that we are living right now in this moment of a huge shift. Like me personally have goosebumps right now, and I think that's
definitely the sign.
That's interesting moment we are living right now. But for those who are making their careers in tech, for those who are thinking of doing something else or doing their businesses, AI or AI revolutionary and all that comes with this sometimes sounds challengeable, if I can say so. Or maybe because in the media we see at least two sides. One side is very positive, another side is very negative. But I would like to ask, what do you see as your vision for opportunities that are opening for female founders and women in tech?
Well, I definitely see a revolution that is happening right now. The whole world is changing. The way we live is changing. All of the routine work is being automated. There are so many new tools that are available for us doing our work. Those are agents, and they are available not only to big companies who are able to pay money, they are also available to smaller teams, to individual entrepreneurs, to people who just want to start their business. The products are changing, they're becoming much more personalized, and we need to understand that the world is never going to be the same anymore, and we will live in the completely different future just in like 1-2 years from now. We should keep that in mind. And I do believe that this is the best time for any sort of opportunities, no matter you are a boy or a girl. If you take up something from here, if you learn these tools, if you understand how they work, if you start using them in your everyday life, then there is the window of opportunities that is open to you. And I know a lot of amazing entrepreneurs who have teams of hundreds or thousands of people, and at the same time they now sit and they try to act like a startupper of one person. They code with the agent, they do the legal work with some other kind of tool, they draw design with some other instrument and stuff like that, because they want to understand what's happening in the world. And there is no reason for any of us not to do the same, because now we are in the same position, everybody. There is no advantage, no matter you are the CEO of the huge company or you are somebody who just finished the university. These tools are developing right now. This is happening right now. So what I think the right thing to do now is just use this opportunity, use these tools, understand what's happening, track it every day, and then understand that everything is possible, because you don't need bigger teams anymore. You don't need like literally anybody. And at the same time, I believe that success will come from the combination of tech and human values, because there is something still left, like empathy, intelligence, like vision, creativity, and it could not be automated. And by the way, these are the features of female, right? Like when we talked about this energy thing, when we talk about empathy or emotional intelligence, this is more a female thing. So maybe it's the sign that girls will benefit more from it, even more than men. Yeah. So I think that we should be very deeply into it, and then just understand maybe like a problem you see you want to solve, and then try to start something on your own, because nowadays you almost don't need anybody.
And if there is a woman who wants to start her entrepreneur experience, or a company or a startup, wherever, what will be your message to her? Like,
Well, depending on who she is, where she is in her journey right now, usually I still say that it's good to gain some experience working for somebody. But nowadays, as the world is changing so fast, I assume this might not be the case. And if you're just 18, you never worked with somebody, maybe your vision is so clear that you don't need anybody to put any old stuff into it. And maybe you will just benefit from not knowing anything else and try to create something completely new with the tools that are now available. So I don't even know. But if you are trying to build something very big and serious, then you probably need some leadership experience, some management experience. And then it's good to gain at least some experience in the company rather than doing it on your own money. But at the same time, you can just mix. And then if we talk about tech, I would like to mention that you should not be afraid of entering this male world and take it as advantage, not a weakness, because we talked that feminine energy, empathy, intelligence is something that helps us, for example, build more trust, build better teams. So know your advantages and use them. And maybe something about resilience. I know a lot of people who give up very early. So I want everybody to remember that resilience and being there, showing up there every day is more important than to win on the short run. So that we should keep believing ourselves and go forward, go for it.
That was Luba Pashkovskaya. This series of episodes is made and brought for you by Women in Tech project with partnership with Center for Gender Studies at EHU, funded by European Union. Stay around and don't forget to comment, to like, to share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you.